I've been out here trying to do Slayer for like 15 whole minutes, and my client has crashed twice. 2 times in 15 minutes, bro. I can already tell it's gonna happen again. I'm out here fighting the wildy worm with this random stranger. Holy hell, did we just manage to kill this thing? 50 freaking ashes? Holy shit.
Peak money making mode unlocked.
Yeah, I only participated in the killing of the wildy worm though, because supposedly it has like insanely buffed drop rates. All right, so there's task complete. I kind of want to see how much money I made, including that wildy worm, because that, oh my god, that's insane. 16.2 mil, that was definitely less than an hour. I actually really like this task now with the legendary pet. It's way, way better than running around and just picking everything up yourself. Roar of Osius is active. I really hope I get a dinosaur task here, please. I might honestly just skip until I get one. I really, really want that dinosaur tooth. Well, unless I get it this kill, which I probably will not. An unsuccessful roar, but that's okay. How many dinosaurs have I killed? I've killed 343 dinosaurs. The drop rate's like 1 out of 800, I think, or something. So I am not dry on this yet. But every time I see a roar, I'll just come back here, kind of grind it out little by little. And that's going to bring me to my little experiment for this video. So I got a Soul Devourer task, and with 115 Slayer, you can actually turn a Soul Devourer task into a Magister task. Now, I've never actually killed the Magister before. I had no idea what to expect before going into this fight, and I wanted to see if the loot actually justified doing this task at this boss. So essentially, what I ended up doing here was I ended up using a staff with all of my animate dead. I started these kills with a Book of Wen. I was using a Nihil, and for most of these kills, I did use Maniacal. You could use whatever the other accuracy aura is. I can't remember at this point, but accuracy is super important here because you actually do end up splashing quite a bit against the Magister. Now, the primary reason I'm here, forget all that tier 92 business. Those things aren't worth a ton of money, but the actual reason you want to come here is for the Vital Spark drops. Now, these things are like, I want to say 450k each. He drops 10 to 20 of them at a time, and they can be doubled with Vital Spark drop enhancers. And when that happens, you're looking at like a 16 mil drop just right there. The boss in this gear is relatively AFK. I mean, you don't have to pay a whole lot of attention to the kills, but I basically was using a bite of blue blubber and sipping a Sarah brew basically at the start of every kill just to kind of save up a little bit because this guy can hit hard. My ability bar wasn't optimized for this, honestly. This is just my run-of-the-mill AFK ability bar that I use all the time, but I'll show it up here on screen right now. I had a task of, I believe it was 217 Soul Devourers, and I did every single one at the Magister to try to figure out, is this boss actually worth doing for Slayer? So since I had a task of 217, the Magister gives 8,000 Slayer XP per kill. Some basic multiplication using my 3rd grade math brain. That leaves us with about 1.7 mil XP in Slayer during this whole task. This task, averaging a little over 50 kills an hour, ended up taking me just a hair above 4 hours to complete, which leaves me with 434,000 Slayer XP per hour. Not super great in 2022, almost 2023, but still. I wasn't necessarily here for the XP. It's not something I'm really going for. Mostly just here for the money. But this is a stat some people care about, so here you go. All right, so here is all of the loot in my inventory from all 217 of those Magister kills. Starting off with the Vital Spark. So this is going to be the first disclaimer I make. Be prepared to have, I want to say right around 200,000 dunge tokens or so, because Vital Spark drop enhancers kind of just fly away. Sometimes you're using 20 of them at a time, and I think I got really, really lucky on Vital Sparks, ending with 415 of them. Actually, I know I got really lucky on that one. Oh, live the spooned life, ladies and gentlemen. Aside from that, we ended up getting, I believe it was 9 phylacteries, which I opened, ended up getting 60 scraps of scripture. That is basically 1/5 of a Kopesh done, and a Kopesh averages you right around 50 mil in profit. So I'm gonna count this as just a flat 10 mil. Sound good? All right, so into the price checker. Not gonna waste any more time. This is all of the loot I picked up from those Magister kills. We're looking at 185.6 mil, which for 4 hours, I mean, honestly, that's not bad. You practically use hardly any supplies here, just your runes and all of that good stuff, which does add up. So I take that into account if you will, but I'm not going to, just for simplicity's sake. All right, so right off the top, every single time you kill the Magister, you have to use a key to the crossing, which ended up in total costing me right around 50 million GP. So gonna go ahead and subtract that, which leaves us at a profit of 135.6 mil. Then we're gonna go ahead and add the 10 mil we got in the phylactery drops or the scraps of scripture, which ends up putting us at 145.6 mil. Finally, we're gonna divide that over the 4 hours it took us to do this task, and we are left with a hourly profit of 36.4 mil, assuming you hit the vital spark rate as much as I did. Now, maybe I got a little bit spooned on that. I definitely have to go and try to confirm that, but overall, this task was insanely low effort, didn't really require much input at all from me, and it ended up getting me 185 mil plus 1.7 mil Slayer XP, which never really hurts, I guess. Now, there's nothing on the Slayer log that the Magister will actually help you achieve, although I did fill in a Dragon Plate Skirt drop, or maybe it was Chain Legs, something like that, which was kind of fun. You're purely here, though, basically for the boss log, if you come here at all, and of course, the money. So in my book, Magister is an extremely worthwhile task. However, it does take quite a while, so if you get one of those big Soul Devourer tasks, you got to be ready to front the buy-in cost, which 50 mil wasn't so bad, but you've also got to be ready to dedicate quite some hours to it. Now, maybe this does speed up a little bit if you are actively trying to do the task, so of course your hourly profit then goes up, but you know me, I like to do everything as AFK as I possibly can. Speaking of AFK, there is absolutely ways I have seen to make this fully AFK friendly, but pretty much all of the setups that I've seen require Crypt Bloom, and that is not something I have. So like I stated in the beginning, if you do not have Crypt Bloom, Ganodermic or Elite Sea Singers will do you just fine, but it's not going to be completely AFK. You are still going to have to chomp some food here and there and just kind of keep an eye on your character, because he can take like 6,000 to 8,000 damage just out of the blue very, very quickly. Also, be sure not to let Animate Dead drop or you're going to die. Like, it definitely didn't happen to me. You know, I'm too good for that, but like, say theoretically your Animate Dead did drop, you would die. You know, it probably would happen, but not to me. I don't trust the wiki a whole lot, but just as a point of reference to whether I think this task is worth it or not, these are a list of money-making methods in the game that are right around the same profit per hour as this. We're just below killing a Raxor, Moss Golems. So, you know, somehow this is comparable money to Trio and Carapac, which I'm not sure if I really believe, but hey, I mean, you assume drop rates and there it is probably. This task was definitely worth it. I will very likely do this task every single time I come across it if I need the money. Now, if I'm just trying to power slay or whatever, or chasing specific drops, then fine, maybe I'll just, you know, skip it or do regular Soul Devourers, but I'm always in need of cash because I'm a broke little peasant, so this one is always going to be on my list of things to do. I just need to set aside the time for it. I'm also very curious to see what actively trying to kill it, like with melee, would look like, especially with the new dragon specs. That would probably be so freaking good.